Thank you for tuning into the talk show. I'm Andra Hedden, and I am joined by Terry Hedden today. And we just wanted to jump on really quickly and just share some information and share some insight on the coronavirus. So obviously, we're having lots of conversations both internally at Marketopia as well as with clients and partners, and the virus is obviously affecting the public, but it's also affecting our businesses. So we just wanted to jump on and just talk about this a little bit. So one of the things that we've been doing a lot of chatting about is the ripple effect into the industry of this massive tsunami of event cancellations. So this is one of the first major things that we've seen with the coronavirus. I would say the cancellation of events, and then also everyone working remote. So you've even seen Microsoft come out with their news saying, look, everyone's going to start working remote, amongst other large vendors. So kind of bring us up to date. I know you're constantly reading about the coronavirus and how it's going to affect our industry and the world, but kind of just bring us into your world a little bit, and then we'll talk specifically.
I think, I guess with any kind of event like this that happens, there's a right way and a wrong way to respond, right? The reality is you can win either way from a business perspective. We're seeing resellers take advantage of the opportunity to create campaigns around end user demand generation, specifically for technologies, system changes, processes, and services surrounding the work from home.
Right.
Let's say they close the schools, and all of a sudden every student is at home. How many? A lot of your team may need to stay home to take care of those kids. So you could bring them into the office and have a take a kid to work week or take a kid to work month, or you can empower your employees to work from home. So, even at Marketopia, we will be operating in the event of whatever happens. Really, we will continue to support our clients. We will not let them down, even if things get tough for us here in Florida. But the reality is, you can win if you're a reseller. There's a lot of
that deeper. So we're going to talk through this two angles, and this is again back to we're having a lot of internal conversations about what coronavirus means specifically to the channel, specifically to vendors and to resellers, and we're getting asked questions constantly too about how we can help as being a Marketopia partner or client of ours. So this is just a couple of things that we wanted to bring to the table for you. So two topics we're going to talk through. One, Terry just mentioned really quickly about if you are a partner, there are ways to capitalize. I want to go deeper on that. But the other thing we're going to talk through also is if you're a vendor, what does that look like to be a vendor, and how are you going to make up for this lead generation that we all depend on in conference season, right? We're in conference season right now, and many of us depend on going to the worldwide partner conferences, the huge channel events, and many of those have been canceled. So your sales reps might be looking at you right now going, how am I going to make up that pipeline? What am I going to do? And how can I get this in effect right now so I'm not feeling the repercussions of it in a couple months when I can't meet my goals? So let's start first, talk through a little bit more on the reseller side. So you were mentioning, okay, great, there's going to be a lot of businesses that are going to be changing the way in which they work. So you mentioned campaigns, but talk through, if you're an MSP right now, how can the MSPs out there start to stand up some of these campaigns and just give some topics on what that can look like?
If you're an MSP out there, there's some sort of threat out here like this, you start dealing with the reality that some or all of your employees may not be able to come to work.
Yep.
Some of them may be out for an extended period of time. So an MSP can take the opportunity to let people know about their services, right? And I'll give you, for example, managed services. When you have a one-person IT department, even a two-person IT department, all of a sudden they get sick, you have a no-person IT department. So an MSP can come to market with an educational campaign around co-managed services, where maybe you support an existing IT department. You back them up when they're out. You support them. You take care of mission critical activities 24/7. So an MSP might go out there and go after a co-managed campaign and try to get some customers looking to do that. They also have, in this era of cloud, there's a lot of opportunity, and this is magnifying it. It's magnifying the opportunity for remote capabilities. When you move to the cloud, you enable your team to work remotely, whether it's voice over IP in the cloud, or if it's a file server in the cloud, your email in the cloud. The reality is empowering your resources to work remotely enables businesses to be, less dependent, I guess, on physical premise technology.
Right.
So those that have implemented, for instance, SharePoint for file storage don't have to worry about premise-based access. They haven't maybe factored in the potential for all of their employees connecting via VPN. Technically, they don't have the capability for everyone to work remotely. Well, if everything's in the cloud, guess what? There is that capability. and it scales automatically and dynamically as need arises. So the MSPs out there that are pro cloud can bring Office 365, bring online file servers, bring cloud and remote access technologies to the table. Whether you're talking about Zoom or Teams and Office 365, remote collaboration is a business imperative. And it's not just for 2 or 3 or 4 people, like in the olden days, right? Just maybe your sales team. All of a sudden, it can be for everyone. So Office 365 happens to be a great solve for that because everyone that has the application gets Teams for free. So all of a sudden, everyone's got video conferencing. You can even bundle in your telephony into Teams now. So there's just a great opportunity for MSPs out there to be a source of I guess business continuity to their markets, to be a savior when it comes to the reality that we're facing, which is that some or all of your employees may not be able to come to work next week or next month. You don't really know.
Right.
So take advantage of the opportunity and make a few bucks doing it by supporting your clients and helping them through this challenging time.
And prospects, right? So one of the things, the clients is one piece of it. It's, if you're an MSP, obviously we always say that MSPs get to run around and wear a cape, right? You're the hero to the companies that you are working with and that you're managing services for. Now, this is a very quick way to get these businesses that used to be able to have different excuses or reasons to not reach out to a managed service provider. This is a great opportunity to get them to mature overnight. Those companies that are sitting out there with only on-prem servers, there's no backup, they have no way, nothing's in the cloud today, everything's in a file in the back office, and that's just always been the way it is. Well, now you've got to have a solve, and now you are, as a managed service provider, coming to the table with that solution in a dire time when everyone is so uncertain. You get to be that peacemaker, that okay, I can sleep better at night, I can have a little bit more at ease, I can feel better about what's going on because I know that my business is still going to run, and I know that all my employees can still team better together. So I think business continuity, great idea. I think co-managed, another great idea, because if there is an internal IT department, that's wonderful. But in times like this, very quickly that you need that overlay, you need that support. So I think co-managed is really great. Your managed services offering is really great. And that collaboration virtually, to your other point. So I think that those are all great campaigns. If you're out there right now and you're wondering, how is this going to affect you? It's a huge opportunity. So look at a time like this and understand how you can help be a value offering to be the solution. And that's where you're going to find the business opportunity to really have this be something great for your business versus the other option, right? So that's being a managed service provider. So I think there's a lot of opportunity out there. We're happy to support in any way we can as well for you. We just want to give these nuggets to get you thinking about how you can really leverage the situation to grow your business. Now, the other part that I want to mention too is from the standpoint of virtually working. So we've had, thinking of growing your business, we've had a lot of partners ask, oh man, what do we do if we can't get to that appointment, if we can't go meet on-prem with that business that's a prospect of ours, meet virtually. Everyone understands right now that to be in your own space is important, right? To not be sharing germs, to not be going to places. So it's okay to meet virtually and show your technology that way as well, right? So use that as a double dip opportunity to show what that functionality can look like while you are talking about your services as well. And it's a pretty neat way to go to market. So bring us through the vendor side. Let's talk about the last side we'll talk about is the vendor side. If you're a vendor right now and you've got sales reps that are concerned because they're missing all of their opportunities for these events in the market, what can they do? Talk me through that.
Well, I mean, the reality is there are alternatives to every form of marketing. A lot of vendors have capitalized on conferences, on in-person events, whether you're talking about lunch and learns, conferences like Business Journal or Chamber of Commerce conferences, or for the vendor side, bigger conferences like, Channel Partners, for example, that just got canceled. There are vendors
just got canceled,
tons of conferences, and more will. Right, this isn't the end. This is the beginning. I think we're in the middle stages of it. My personal opinion is that it's going to subside in the summer, but the reality is there's a lot of hype and a lot of fear out there that's either making conference organizers want to cancel the events because of fear of contagion, maybe being a place where 10,000 people get infected, or even more likely is that attendees don't come, right? And so all of a sudden
you spend all of this money and
you promise all this for your vendors, and they come in and they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on booths and getting their employees there and their collateral there, only to have attendance be 50% of what was projected or 25% of what was projected. So two aspects that are causing a lot of conferences to get canceled. So what we're really helping our vendor partners do is come up with alternative forms of lead generation. And from our perspective, there's really two directions to go. One is they've got to get their message out there, improve awareness. And so we're seeing things like this, you know, a video where you're like, hey, let's talk about your product. On-demand webinars, on-demand videos that are rich and powerful forms of education, but also entertaining to look at. So getting that information out there through email, but really video, through webinars, through things like that.
Lots of digital marketing, obviously.
Absolutely.
Really, really strategic digital campaigns.
Yep. And especially if you offer a solve for this virus, you know, if you offer remote work capability or teaming, remote collaboration technologies, there are a lot of people that are in the security collaboration space in the channel. Well, they should be all over this to make 100%. Sure when someone types in video conference or online collaboration, their technologies and capabilities come up first. So, and then you have on the demand gen side, they simply need appointments. A lot of reps, a lot of investors that depend on their companies, their portfolio companies to succeed, have a requisite number of leads to achieve the sales goals that they have, right? They need 500 inbound leads a month or a quarter, right? They need prospective clients to learn more and to receive a proposal, so they get the close ratio and the revenue numbers to support their promises that they've made their stakeholders. Well, you can replace leads. There are many forms of lead generation, and frankly, while it's hard to beat the face-to-face aspect of a conference, a virtual meeting or a virtual appointment or tele-video appointment is not that huge of a decline from there. Maybe it's 10% worse or 20% worse, so it will impact your close ratio, but you can just compensate by getting more leads. So what we're seeing is vendors are coming to us saying, listen, I need to replace the 400 leads that I was going to get from channel partners. How can you help me do that? And so we're putting together telecampaigns, we're setting up video conferences, or bringing people to webinars to learn more information. We are replacing the leads that they lost in these conferences, and we're able to do it maybe perhaps by even more than they thought. And frankly, the beautiful thing is it's the same money. They're taking the $200,000 that they could have spent at the conference and use that to hire a team of telemarketers, or maybe an email campaign combined with telemarketers, right? So they're not having to spend more; they're just spending it differently.
Definitely, and I think thinking through the virtual events, I know we've done a lot of talk about that. We've had a lot of vendors reach out about virtual events and what that could possibly look like. Taking that same event that they would have put on somewhere and just doing it virtually, allowing everyone from wherever they're hibernating to look and view and be a part of this event. And so I think that those are pretty neat as well. And when it comes to back to the getting your face in front of partners, we live in an industry that's built on trust, right? That is the currency that we relate to each other on. That's how we do business with each other. And that's what you're building. That's why in our space, face-to-face events are wonderful, because you're sitting there looking at someone, looking in their eyes, seeing if you trust that they're going to do whatever it is that they say that they're going to do. So the video is such an important piece right now. So getting your faces of your team members in front of those prospects, in front of those clients, in front of whoever it is that you were intending to meet with to get the upsell, cross-sell from current clients or get net new prospects, do that anyways. Just do it virtually, and you can get that next best thing out there. Also, can videos and send them as well. Send them an email. Send them through digital campaigns. Send them through ad campaigns. Just get your team members' faces out there so that trust can be gained, even if it is just virtually. So I think that these are some really great kind of tips and things that we can do as an industry. Again, Terry and I talk about this stuff all of the time, how we can help and what's really going on and what this ripple effect in our channel is going to mean, not only this month with these canceled events, but what happens after this. This could be a tsunami of different effects that really go on, and we don't really know how long, but right now, these are some things that you can do to really take advantage and ensure that your business isn't halting or stalling growth during this time. So anything else you'd like to mention, or you feel like you shared?
I guess there's a time and a place for everything, and the reality is that it's never. I don't think it's going to be as bad as any of us feared it would be, but there's a way that you can compensate for whatever impacts that are there, right? We can come together as an industry. We can come together as a team. You can partner with new people, new partners, and find ways to kind of navigate through it. I mean, we're all going to be fine. The key is to adapt and adapt your approach to doing what it takes to be in business, right? You may have to pivot a little bit in your marketing approach, may have to leverage third parties that have the expertise, for
Mhm.
instance, video.
Mhm.
A lot of internal marketing teams don't have video. So maybe leveraging a third party for that. Be flexible, be agile, but don't give up. Don't crawl into a hole and just wait for this whole thing to pass, because there will be an impact.
Mhm.
Anytime you take a period of time, it could be weeks or months, and just drop it to zero with respect to inbound demand gen, has a long-term
And it
consequence.
goes
You're
on
never
for
going
a
to get
while. And
right
you don't, yeah.
for years potentially. You can't get those leads back.
Mhm.
So get ahead of this.
Yep.
Engage a third party, or make net new hires. Pivot your investment, pivot your activity to generate the leads you need to get the sales you want, to get the profit that your investors and stakeholders deserve.
Awesome. I obviously completely agree. So nutshell, we are sharing to obviously don't be scared, don't live in fear. Make sure that you're taking the approach to capitalize on this, over sanitize, and we are here to help grow your business and in any way that you need. So good luck, and reach out if there's anything that we can do and help you navigate the coronavirus. So thanks for joining, and we'll talk to you soon.